Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayath of Dovadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Alright, so this evening's lesson is going to be entitled Sexual Immorality is at an all-time high. Okay, sexual immorality is at an all-time high. Okay, as you can see, I got 3 articles here where it says a wife has an affair with a co-worker for months and husband can't stop thinking about another man inside of my wife. And another one here says a man says his brother slept with every girlfriend he had. Now his parents want forgiveness. And I got this one here where it says, this one, of course, excuse me. This article here, when the screen gets back up here, it says that a man gets 3 years, gets a year in jail, 3 years probation for incest, providing alcohol to daughter who later took her own life. So, having sexual relations with his own daughter. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and read these articles real quick. And like I said, it's not going to be long, so we're going to be edifying. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. When this thing loads up. Alright, so the first one is wife has an affair with coworker for months and husband can't stop thinking about another man inside my wife. So go ahead and bump this up on screen here. Okay, so let me click it one more time. Okay, so it says a man recently took to Reddit to share a deeply personal and painful revelation. His wife had been having an affair with a coworker for several months. This revelation came just as the couple was preparing to make a significant life change by moving out of state. For 7 years, they had built what he described as a strong marriage. The husband had always been supportive of his wife, who earned significantly more than he did. Despite some minor issues that had arisen in their relationship, he never expected this betrayal. He thought their love was sturdy enough to weather any storm. In the days leading up to this revelation, he had been focusing on their upcoming move. They agreed to leave their current state and sell their house, which they believed would, of course, this would happen, which he believed would, of course, lead to a better job opportunities for him and ultimately strengthen the family unit. Instead, everything turned upside down when he discovered the affair. The husband's mind is now plagued with graphic thoughts. He can't shake the image of another man inside my wife. It's consuming him, and he feels an intense rage. Rightfully so, he should. Directed at the co-worker who betrayed not just him, but the vows they made to each other. He struggles to understand how he can overcome these feelings of betrayal and anger. He has decided against divorce now, which, shit. And ultimately, he's a fool for that. Hoping instead to seek healing, but the journey ahead seems daunting. He has turned to Reddit for guidance, asking others for strategies to move forward. The psychological toll of this situation is heavy, leaving him feeling isolated and desperate for a way to cope. One person told him that it's crucial to allow himself to feel the anger, but to also find ways to channel that energy productively. It's not uncommon for people in his position to undergo a roller coaster of emotions. Another reader suggested focusing on self-care and possibly seeking professional help to navigate this turbulent period. You know, getting all these advices from people of the world, because wisdom of the world is foolishness with the Most High. So we're going to go ahead and let the scripture speak here. Okay? Now, any man in his right mind, as the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 14 says, thou shalt not commit adultery, right? Now, here's the thing. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 22. It says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. So that man's wife and the co-worker, they both should be put to death. No excuses. A lot of people think that's a little extreme. Well, you know what? Yahweh Bashim Shai is extreme. Okay? And by putting in that extreme, that's how you get fear. And that's how people know better not to be doing this shit. Not to be testing their luck or testing the Most High's patience. There has to be a severe penalty that'll get people to wake up and realize, okay, I'm not going to do that. Alright, now, when it comes to a bill of divorce, let me get the script. A bill of divorce. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1, it says, when a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. So, in order to, save himself, especially in this society, you can't put nobody to death, because if you do that, of course you could obviously go to jail, but that would be the right thing to do. But here's another one. Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 34, and it says, Proverbs 6 and 34 says, for jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. 35, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So, let me read that in the NLT. Proverbs 6 and 34 in the NLT. For the woman's jealous husband will be furious, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. 35, he will accept no compensation, nor be satisfied with the payoff of any sides. Okay? If a man has a wife, money cannot replace her. Okay? Do not the scriptures say in the book of Sirach, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, actually it's in the, let's see, it's probably verse 20, chapter 26. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look for Slocky. Give me a minute. Let me look for it here. Okay, there we go. Sirach, aka Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Okay? So, you have to understand, man, when a man has a wife, that's his property, that's his possession. That means no other man can have her but him. So if a woman has a man in her life, back off. Okay? And that goes in, and I'm not going to read more of this, but we're going to go to the next article here where it says, a man says his brother slept with every girlfriend he had, now his parents want forgiveness. It says that some family wounds do not disappear. Here, let me close this one down. Or I had to put words, actually. Okay, so it says, some family wounds do not disappear just because time passes. One Redditor said he cut off his younger brother more than a decade ago after years of betrayal that repeatedly destroyed his relationships and his trust. Okay. Okay, so it says, now his family wants him to reopen that door because his brother is going through a painful crisis with a very sick premature baby. The problem is that the original poster no longer feels love, empathy, sympathy, or brotherly concern. He feels pressure, resentment, and the old anger he spent years learning how to live around. Well, he should, man. He has every right to. Again, man, in this day and age, whether you have, if you and a woman are dating or you have a so-called girlfriend or whatnot, okay, if she's with you, no other man should be allowed to touch her. And your girlfriend or wife or whatever, the woman that you're dating, if she's with you, she should know better. She should respect your boundaries. And that's why it says here, let me give you the chapter here. Let me go back. So, and here's the thing. Okay? This is right here, Sirach 26 and 22. It says, and harlot shall be accounted as a spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Now, a harlot shall be accounted a spittle, which means her worth is no more than spit on the ground. That's all she's worth. Because she's been tossed around on the cock carousel time after time after time. She has no actual value, other than what's between her legs, which has been ran through. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Okay? You women, a married woman is supposed to be a support to her husband. Okay? You're his helpmeet for a reason. You are his rest. Verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. 24. A dishonest woman contemneth shame. So a dishonest woman, a woman who's been lying, keeping secrets, she bringeth shame. Okay? She brings humiliation to you. She makes you look like a fool. But an honest woman will reverence her husband. An honest woman will always be honest with you. She'll never hide anything from you. She'll tell you the truth. No matter how much it hurts you or her, she's going to tell you. 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. A shameless woman, a harlot, a woman who has no shame. The majority of these women out here have no shame. Now it says here in 26, a woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. Okay, and the majority of these women, they are ungodly, they are not wise, they're dishonest, there's no loyalty. So continuing on with this story, okay, there we go. Okay. So it says the original poster said his brother repeatedly slept with the women he dated over a long period. This was not described as one reckless mistake for their younger years. Based on the poster's account, it became a pattern that damaged several relationships and left him feeling humiliated, unsafe, and deeply betrayed inside his own family. He said 2 of those relationships were serious. He even tried to keep some partners away from his brother because of what had happened before, but the same betrayal still happened again. His family wanted him to keep forgiving. The Redditor said extended family members keep reminding him that they were brothers. They treated the betrayal as something he should eventually move past, especially because his brother was young at the time. Some relatives framed it as foolish behavior, not something worth ending a sibling relationship over. But the poster did not see it as immaturity. To him, the repeated pattern proved his brother knew exactly how much pain he was causing and kept doing it anyway. The final relationship was the breaking point. The poster said the last betrayal became different because his brother dated the woman afterward. That pushed him into permanent no contact. He muted, blocked, and avoided his brother, refusing to attend events where the brother would be present. His brother reportedly tried to apologize many times after realizing that the usual pattern of short-term anger and eventual forgiveness was no longer happening, but by then the damage was done. The parents struggled with the depth of his anger. At first, the Redditor and his parents claimed they would respect his decision. They knew their younger son had hurt him badly, but they still hoped he would not hate him so deeply. The poster said he could keep that hatred away from them, but he could not promise to stop feeling it. The family fracture widened after his brother was injured in a car accident years later. His parents warned him at the hospital with everyone else, but he refused. He said he did not care, and that honestly disturbed him. He rebuilt his life without his brother. Over time, the poster said he worked on his trust issues in therapy. He later met his wife, got married, and started a family of his own. His brother was not part of that life, and the poster did not change his no-contact boundary. Even his wedding reportedly came with a firm rule. His brother was not invited, and his parents were warned not to bring him. For the poster, this was not a temporary punishment. It was the way he protected the peace he had worked hard to build. All right? So, let's get a few scriptures here. It's going to be the book of Leviticus. So we're going to go to the book of Leviticus. It's going to be chapter 18. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 16, and it says, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness." So I'll read that in NLT. Leviticus 18 and 16. "Do not have sexual relations with your brother's wife, for this would violate your brother." Okay? When they say violate, now let's look at the word violate in the etymology here. Violate. Violate. To break an oath. To treat with violence, dishonor, or outrage. So to break an oath or to treat with dishonor or outrage or violence. So his brother openly and multiple times disrespected his brother's boundaries. Okay? And what is the punishment for adultery? Let's get it. Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So, that's plain and simple. It speaks for itself right there. Now, next one here. Okay, let's leave this alone. Go to this one here, and this one says man gets a year in jail, 3 years probation for incest, providing alcohol to daughter who later took her own life. Let me zoom in real quick. Okay, it says the investigation into Chavez. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. So, okay, it says Warren, this story discusses suicide. It says a Moore Park man was sentenced on Tuesday to a year in jail and 3 years probation for felony incest and misdemeanor providing alcohol to a minor in an incident that involved his biological daughter who later took her own life. 41-year-old Stephen Vincent Chavez previously pleaded guilty on May 18th. The Ventura County District Attorney Office said he also admitted to taking advantage of a position of trust and that the victim was particularly vulnerable. He will serve his year-long sentence at the Ventura County Jail, followed by a 3-year felony probation period, according to the DA's office. So this is oh boy, this thing. Slovakia. My PS4 is just acting up. It likes to lag. But anyway, going up. So it says the investigation into Chavez began on July 2025 when his 18-year-old biological daughter, Michaela, was staying with him at his Moore Park residence. So this is the man right here. And, you know, like I said, he's an Israelite because Chavez, I'm guessing he's, you know, of the Latin tribes, you know, Issachar, Asher, anywhere from Ephraim to Issachar, but who knows, he could be a tear. But either way, the fact of the matter still stands, you know. The law tells you you cannot sleep. Slovakia, my PS4 keeps acting up. This thing is horrible. So we'll go to the book of Leviticus chapter 18. Starting at verse... Actually, I'm going to start from verse 1 and read down. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak, verse 2, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. So you're not to follow the ways of the heathen. Verse 4, ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh your power. 5, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgment, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh. In verse 6, it says, None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. So, when you go into kin, of the body, kindred, blood relations. So, by this meaning, it's meaning, I'm going to read down. It says, verse 7, The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. the nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. So, according to the law here, if your father has a wife, if your mother, do not touch your mother, or do not touch any of your father's wives, because in our culture we're meant to have more than one woman. Verse 9, the nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. Okay. Verse 10, thy son, so stay away from your sister. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness shalt thou not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. So stay away from your son's daughter, stay away from your daughter's daughter. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, which is your stepsister. Let's see, the nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister, she is thy father's near kinswoman. So your father's sister, that would be your aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife, she is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law, she is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. So, let's see. Of course, verse 16, it says, thou shalt, I already read verse 16, I'll read it again. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Verse 17, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover their nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness. Okay? Okay, so you're not supposed to sleep with anyone near kin of this, any of your kinsmen. That includes your own kids. So this man is fucked up. Okay. Going down further. It says, after a day of drinking at a family gathering, Chavez purchased additional alcohol for him and his daughter to drink at home. Ventura County DA's official said Chavez then engaged in sexual intercourse with her. Michaela later committed suicide in December 2025. The DA's office elaborated, providing further details on the case. Ventura County Deputy District Attorney Tessa McCarty explained that Michaela had placed her trust and well-being in Chavez's care by moving from North Carolina to California to start a new life with him. I've also read another article that was similar to this, where a daughter who hadn't met her dad until she became of age, and then she went to go meet him in person, and then they built a bond, and eventually they slept together and they had a kid, and yada yada this and yada that. So yeah, man, like, the sexual immorality is running rampant in this society. Like, this society is just fucked up. It is weird. Like, people are just weird nowadays. People are just absolutely freaking weird nowadays. They really are. People just don't have a care anymore. Like, legit, people just don't have a care anymore. They really don't. So, they just, when it comes to marriage and sex, they treat it as if it means nothing. Okay? So I hope that this was edifying. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but Lord willing, it was edifying nonetheless. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat, the Dawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, everyone. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Wabal, Shalom, Barakatam.